Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for Crystal Palace against Liverpool in the Premier League. Our first watch along today. We will be doing Arsenal-Southampton at 3 o'clock as well. I hope you're all doing very well. Thank you very much for tuning in as usual. And Crystal Palace is a difficult place to go, apparently. Well, I don't know. I don't actually know. I do think Crystal Palace should be a difficult place to go, but I also think that Liverpool are a very good side and Crystal Palace are not playing the way I would have expected them to play this season, to be honest with you. But I just had the TV on, actually, and I saw them talking about Gravenberch. I'm not surprised by this at all. I think Gravenberch is a player that when Liverpool signed him, I said, I like that signing. I'm fed up of Liverpool doing these signings in their midfield, to be honest. I said the same about Fabinho. I said the same about Alexis McAllister. Obviously, Szoboszlai was a very hipster hit as well, but yeah, we knew that there was potential there. But Gravenberch, again, is just another one that Liverpool have gone and got in that midfield area. And I do look at United's midfield recruitment pretty much since 2006. Carrick was probably the last decent one we brought in. It's nearly 20 years since United brought in a midfielder that has actually been a success consistently. And Liverpool and other clubs just seem to hit in the midfield. So I'm not surprised that he's come good. I think he's a very talented player. I don't think the Bayern Munich move really worked out, but Liverpool obviously had their scouts in place and went and did the move. And I think he's got the lot. I think he's got the passing range, which you would expect from an Ajax talent. Physicality, obviously, he's big. Suits the Premier League in relation to his stamina. Good at carrying the ball as well. I think that I can't remember how old he is, but I just think he's a very, very good player. And for, you know, I sort of say it reluctantly, but I think we, especially on this channel, or when watching football, we assess football not necessarily on the club that we support. We do tend to. Most people in football will have the graciousness to admit a player's a decent player. I think he's a very, very good player, and it's almost like a glow up at the right time, the perfect time, because. Maybe the first season at Liverpool wasn't the best, but he's almost like a new signing this year, isn't he? Anyway, hope you're all doing well. We've got the team news coming in for you. We're sponsored by Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. But let's go through the two teams for you. We'll start off with the home side, which of course this afternoon is Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace lining up with Henderson, Chalobah, Guehi and Lacroix. I mean, that's a good... This is the thing about Palace. That's a good three. Guehi, Chalobah and Lacroix. I mean, he's a FIFA legend. That's a good three. You've got Muniz and Mitchell as the sort of the wing backs. You've got Wharton and Lerma, and then you've got Nketiah, Sarr and Eze. It's a team that, look, it's not a better team than that Liverpool side, but it's still a team that you would, expect to be doing a little bit better in the league at the moment. Liverpool, as you can see, pretty much team picks itself at the moment. All right, Curtis Jones in there is a bit of a shock, but... A bit of rotation, maybe. Curtis Jones is a player that's certainly held in high esteem at Liverpool, so it's not maybe as big a shock, really. But Alisson, Trent, Tsimikas, Robertson's on the bench. Tsimikas, sorry. Van Dijk, Konate, Gravenberch, McAllister and Jones, and then Salah, Gakpo and Jota. A bit of rotation there, actually, from Liverpool. Talk to me, Liverpool fans, about that rotation. Is it injury-based because Diaz... Szoboszlai, Robertson, all on the bench? Or is it just international breaks coming? Why do you rotate? What's that all about? Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Crota says, Goldbridge always streams Liverpool, doesn't he? He is a Liverpool supporter. It's funny you say that, mate, because last week, apparently I always do Arsenal, so I can't be both. I mean, I don't like to sit you down at the start of the stream, but you have been sat down because I said the same thing about Arsenal last week, and when I do a video on City, I'm obsessed with City. I mean, maybe, just maybe. I mean, I don't want to be, a little bit niche or a bit out there, but maybe it's a channel that's called That's Football that covers lots of different teams. Just maybe. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in as always. I want to talk about this. Saw this clip from James Alcott. On that show they do on Sky in the morning. Start, bench, sell, Foden, Palmer and Saka. Start, bench, sell. We do it a lot on here. it's only interesting if you're interested in what my answer is. And that's not ego. I'm just saying, people get their knickers in a twist. What does James Alcott's opinion matter? What does Mark Goldbridge's opinion matter? What does Alfie Smith's opinion matter? Don't get your knickers in a twist. They're not the definitive. It's just that person's opinion. People get really het up by this sort of stuff. It only matters if you value that opinion or it makes you think about what your opinion is. Start, bench, sell, Palmer, Saka, Foden. At the moment on form, start Palmer, bench Saka, sell Foden on form. On actual overarching ability, for me, start Saka, bench Foden, sell Palmer. The Palmer stuff is gone way too far. Way, way too far. Fantastic talent. Probably going to be England's best player, but he ain't there yet. And this is typical of society in the fact that you just glow up a player beyond... It's incomprehensible. He's had a year in the Premier League. All sorts of things could go wrong over the next 3 years. Phil Foden and Saka have done it for years. In a year or two, Palmer probably supersedes them. But at the moment, on pure form, he's better than them. But on who's the better player, at the moment, I would still go Foden and Saka based on what they've done in their career. I still think that patience is never a virtue, is it? But there you go. There's a clip from Mark Goldbridge if you care about it. Assuming Liverpool and Chelsea win their games this weekend, it sets up a lovely meeting between them after the international break. Who's worth the hype, says Bart. Well, I said this on the podcast yesterday. I'm very excited about some of the games that we've got coming up after the international break because a lot of these teams at the top of the league are actually going to start playing each other. So I'm very interested to see how they... are Liverpool better than Chelsea? Are Chelsea better than Liverpool? But I'm just putting the tweet out there. Thank you very much. Big game for United tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sort of it is a big game for Manchester United tomorrow, but don't ruin my today with what could happen tomorrow. Which is a brilliant line, actually. I'm sure there's a great quote there that somebody's already done. Don't ruin my today with what could happen tomorrow. It works. It works on so many levels. Slot on TNT said he's resting players on the bench, says Bailey. Yeah, I mean, it does look to me like he is resting players, but on the other hand, I'm a little bit intrigued by the resting of players because they're all going on international duty. So you're resting them for international coaches, which, I mean, it's still rest, isn't it? Ultimately, the less minutes that they play in their legs, the better. Maybe Liverpool have looked at it and gone... there's something in resting these players before international football that will limit the chance of them getting injured on international duty. I don't know. Maybe they're looking at it the other way around. Yeah. Doctor says, you need an operation. Goldbridge, don't worry me today with tomorrow. Are you going to invite Phil Jones for a podcast, says N. Mate, you know what? The podcast world at the moment, it is just, it's incredible. Right, there's just so many of them, but it's such a closed shop. They're all just so insular, which is their right. But I've always done content on this premise: give the audience what they want. What's the point in doing anything? I mean, WWE is something I grew up with, and whether it's WCW, WWE, there was crossovers. Give the audience what they want. I think people are so arrogant in this business, show business or whatever. Give the audience what they want. Boxing's the same. Acting's the same. Give the audience what they want. They're the people who why are people so arrogant with, I'm not... I mean, Jamie Carragher quote tweeted me the other day and then deleted it because he obviously got told not to do it. People really enjoyed the fact that he quote tweeted me. People were like, that's a nice crossover. I'd love to see them do some content together. Not allowed. You're not allowed to do it. But there's a lot of people that would enjoy that. But this industry is just so... I mean, the stories I could tell you, the people I can and can't do content with, or the people who won't do content with each other, is just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And my opinion is, what you're scared of, give the audience what they want. Give the audience what they want. Slot. Okay, right. Let's talking about giving the audience what they want. I'm going to give you something that you might want. I'm going to tell you that today's stream is sponsored by the amazing, the absolutely superb. I'm buying time here so I can get it up on the screen. Manscaped. This is absolutely fantastic in your hands. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. The lawnmower is here. You can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping by getting this beauty delivered. Yes, it's for your male grooming area in the midfield. Trim the grass, make the yard look bigger. It's the leader, it's the best. And scanning that QR code and using the code footy or using the link in the description will get you 20% off with Manscaped delivered to your door. And it doesn't just end there. You've got the weed whacker for your nose. You've got the handyman if you're out and about. This will just give you a clean shave, old school style. I actually need a shave, but I use this one the most, the beard trimmer. 20 different lengths on it. I like a little bit of stubble. I do need a shave at the moment, but they're all fantastic products delivered to your door with free worldwide shipping, and the code footy will give you 20% off. So don't forget to check out Manscaped. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And thank you very much to them as always. Few chats coming in here. Ezzy is one of my favourite players, says H. Billies, to watch last season, but he just has not been up to it this season. I hope he can change it around. And hi, Mark. Hope you're well. You need a new goalkeeper for TUSFC, says Kyle. 100%. Absolutely 100% I do. You can't have a goalkeeper that's 5'9", and I've got a goalkeeper that's 5'9". So there we go. I've got an itchy nose here. Breaking news, itchy nose. I have got an itchy nose. I'm definitely going to sneeze any second. So get ready for that noise when it hits. I'm giving you a warning. I played there. It's a weird ground, Sellers Park. Again, it's a bit like Charlton. It's just in a housing estate. London's just so big and sprawling. You just can't see it coming. And then there you are. You're there. So it's a funny little ground. Is Palace, but we're about to kick off. Liverpool playing in white, Crystal Palace of course playing in their home kit, and we're off. There we go. Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Score predictions, everybody. I actually thought Palace might get something, and I'm just going to stick with that, but actually Liverpool have won 8 of their last nine games here. I think people think because of Kristan Bull when they bottled the league that Liverpool have a bit of a problem at Palace. And they do. I think he's offside. Nketiah. Oh, what a start that would have been. Yeah, he looked offside. I mean, it's lovely play by Crystal Palace. The way that they play it through the lines, get it out wide, the cross goes in. But it's just really good play. Into Ezzy. Into Wharton. Out wide. And Nketiah has got to hold his run. I mean, is that... Arsenal fans talk. I mean, his finish is fantastic, but is that the problem with Nketiah? That naivety, getting ahead of the ball there. That's on the striker. That is, he's just got to hold his run. He went too fast anyway. The ball that went out wide, he wanted it, and he'd gone offside. So that's just eagerness there. He's got to learn that. He's got to learn. That's what the top strikers do. Keep themselves on side. But Liverpool on the attack now. Good quick start here. Ezzy on the ball into Nketiah again. Be interesting. I mean, what are your thoughts on Nketiah? Do you think he'll actually do well at Palace? I mean, for me, I'm not too... Mark, you're looking beautiful and glowing today, says Eric. Thank you very much. Brady says, I love you. Thank you very much. Bit of love in the chat. Nice to see. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Palace side. Mateta on the bench. I mean, I know I prefer Mateta to Nketiah. I don't know. I think sometimes you can go, oh, there's an ex-Arsenal player. Let's buy him and upset the apple cart. I prefer Mateta, but I'm not the manager of Crystal Palace. Oh, good. I have got a tissue in my nose. For my nose. Oh, I hate it when you've got a tissue that's old and it's all rubbish. It's like Casemiro, this tissue. It's had better days. It literally has. That's a good. It was a good tissue at one time. It's not toilet roll. Anyway, let's get back to the live chat. Yeah, I am live at 3 o'clock. We'll be keeping an eye on the 3 o'clock games as well. Didn't fancy Everton Newcastle really on a Saturday on a Saturday tea time. There's better things to do with your life. I mean, if you're a Newcastle and Everton fan, there's not. But for me, I don't have to. I just don't need it. Stussy doesn't like the sun or the camera angle. Which Liverpool player would you take at Liverpool, Mark? Says Miss. I think you mean take from Liverpool. They've already got them. One player from Liverpool for Manchester United. I mean, it's so easy. I'd take Mo Salah because Man United on the right wing still have problems, and he's the best right winger in the Premier League. I mean, arguably the best right winger in the world. Is there a better right winger in the world than Mo Salah? I feel like I'm missing somebody, but no, Saka's not better than Salah. No, he's not. No, he's not. I like Saka, but he's not better than Salah. Right, that's a poll straight away. There we go. Either or. Let's do it. I say Salah. A lot of people are saying Saka. Get in the chat. Would you take Kamara at United, says Mr. Noth? I'm not really thinking about taking anyone at Man United at the moment. I'm more thinking about the transfer window's closed. We've got a squad that should be doing better than it is. Let's stop trying to fucking buy players because Agate was going to solve our midfield. De Ligt was going to solve our centre-back problem. Mazraoui was going to solve our full-back problem. Xerxes was going to be the striker to give us balance up front. You know, we can't just keep looking to buy players. We've got to start actually achieving with what we've got. Nice ball into Jota. And Palace will clear it, I think. There's a nice ebb and flow to this game. That's a foul. Should be a yellow card there, mate. Is he going to give it? Or is it too early? Simicast. Might have been a bit soft for a yellow, to be fair. Is Yamal better than Salah? You're having a laugh, James. I mean, he's a good player. He's a bit like Cole Palmer. You've got to give him a little bit of time before you start saying they're better than established world-class players. Anthony is not better than both. I am doing Arsenal versus Southampton, Sniper, yeah. I am. Thank you very much. Inzaghi was born offside, Mark, says Fred. Well, Palace are on the attack here with Eze. He started off very lively in this game. Lovely cross to the back post. Take your time. Take your time. Corner. Which Liverpool? I've done that one, wouldn't I? Thank you very much. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We are very close to 260,000. I will change that when we hit it. Get involved with That's Football. You're welcome. Every single day. We've got content for you and everybody is welcome. It's interesting, actually. Our most watched video of the week was the Man City video talking about the this case about, you know, sponsorships and everything. It's a very evocative topic. What's going on with Man City, but what I will say is that there's no way back. Whatever the decision, it's going to change football. Right, Liverpool got a chance to break away here. Salah down the right-hand side, doesn't have a lot of support. The switch is what he needs to do, and he's gone backwards anyway. I mean, as we were talking about before the game, the evolution of Gravenberch really does give Liverpool... this is just me. This is me. Whether I'm playing FIFA or EAFC or watching a game, the minute I start bigging up a player, you can guarantee their next touch is going to be trampoline toes. Just talking about Gravenberch, simple pass, controls it, it goes out for a throw-in. The jinx is real. But I think that with regards to the blossoming of Gravenberch, it really is for Liverpool so important because it is like a new signing, isn't it? You know, they've got McAllister. They were looking at bringing in Zubimendi. And I think there was a lot of disappointment that they didn't get Zubimendi. But you look at their midfield options now, and they're good. I mean, obviously injuries can change that, but Salah has absolutely wiped his arse with Saka here in this poll. 81% go for Salah, 19% go for... Oh my God, 1-0. What is Guehi doing here? Absolutely shit defending. It's a great start by Liverpool, but that defending there, I mean, if that was Man United, I'm moaning. It's a shocker, really. Really, really bad. Watch this back if you can. Well, I haven't seen it back yet, but to me, I'm just saying straight away, this is shocking defending. He's onside. You can see by the shadow. No, Guehi can't leave that. Why does he leave it? Why does he leave that there? Shocking defending. Why does he not kick that? That is, I mean, it's a good goal for Liverpool, but I'd be going, if that's Maguire or De Ligt or Martinez, I'm losing my shit. Why is it? And the cameras are on Nketiah. It's weird how, I know mainstream analysis has to be, you know, second for second, right, let's find a scapegoat. But the scapegoat there is Guehi. I presume Nketiah loses the ball in the build-up, but he can kick that ball. He can kick that ball and he chooses not to do it. Terrible defending. Bond says he was scared of an own goal. Well, Liverpool have scored because you didn't kick it, mate. I don't know any defender that's not going to kick that ball there. Weird. Very weird. Is Ollie available? He knows how to play ball, says Leon. And hi, Mark. How far do you think Villa can go in the Champions League after the win against Bayern, says Jack? Depends who they get in the knockout stage, really. Pantelas says, bit of Greek bias here, but so happy seeing Tsimikas, a regular player, top player, and a regular starter, top lad, finally getting a chance under Slot. Nicolas Cage wants to do Odegaard or Palmer. I mean, I will do it, but... again, I would go Odegaard based on CV, but at the moment, you'd go Palmer based on form. So anyway, we'll do it. I just can't get over that defending. I think it's absolutely terrible. Be fuming if you're a Palace fan with that. Good goal by Liverpool, but should have stopped it. Dream start for Liverpool, though. 1-0 up after 10 minutes. And you can see why Palace are having problems when they're defending like that. Early goals key, isn't it? Ever thought about doing cameo, says Marcus? I haven't really got time. Just started Get In, the book, on audiobook, and I'm really liking it so far. Good job with it. Already looking forward to your next book, says N. Thank you very much for buying the book, mate. You're a legend. Thank you very much. Trent puts a cross in there. Guehi actually does deal with that one. Surprised he did that. Might have flicked in for an own goal. Madness. Absolutely madness. I can't speak. I can't speak. Baked beans or sweet corn, says Langford. Definitely baked beans. I had a bit of a snack before this stream, actually, but I am hungry. Corner here to Liverpool. Tsimikas has got it. Go back to the keeper there. Is a draw at Villa enough to keep Ten Hag in a job, says Bad? I don't know. Can I have a day off from talking about Ten Hag and Man United? No, I can't because I've done a morning show on the United Stand and I've got an evening show at 8 o'clock. But can I have a few hours off? Let's talk about the title. Yeah, there was a great point actually made a few minutes ago by one of you about how it's going to get quite exciting. I was talking about this on the podcast from the Goldbridge Arms yesterday, and I think that we were all in agreement with this, that there is some really big questions to be asked about, like, obviously Liverpool have started well, Arsenal have started well, lovely cross into the box there, Henderson does a good job, Chelsea have started well, but we'll really start to understand more about this league when these teams start playing each other. That's not a good hand action to do. And after the international break, you've got a few games that are going to really sort of focus in on that. Liverpool against Chelsea on the Sunday after the international break, Sunday the 20th of October. That'll be an intriguing game at Anfield. But then the following weekend, you've got Arsenal-Liverpool at the Emirates. So Liverpool's next two games are ridiculously difficult, but will give us a guide on what it's all about with this league title, really, and who's the pretender to the throne, and do they sort of hurt each other. I think Man City play Liverpool. Got Villa as well on November the 4th. I'm sure Man City play somebody decent at some point. I don't think they do, actually. Got Spurs on the 23rd. Anyway, yeah, so double weekend for Liverpool, Chelsea, and then Arsenal will really start to let us know. Crystal Palace player going off here. I know he probably is injured, but that's one of my pet hates, you know. Professional footballer, good money. I mean, he is injured, isn't he? But it just irritates me. I'm not saying he's got a low threshold, but some of them do. Liking Trash says, and they want 65 to 70 million for Guehi. Well, you're right in a way. I mean, I thought he played very well for England, but I mean, that's just basic defending. Choosing not to kick that ball is incredible to me. Absolutely incredible. He don't fancy it, does he? Hi, Mark. How are you able to watch the game? Says Sen. It's on the TV right now, mate. TNT Sports. How is draw at Villa enough to keep Eric Ten Hag in a job? Thank you very much. Done that one. I played in the second round of the FA Cup pregnant, says Hannah. Okay. Didn't think I'd be reading that out. And Chris says, I'm glad we dodged Guehi. Mate, I don't want to keep going on about it, but I'm absolutely baffled by that first goal. I really am. I just don't know why he didn't kick it. Nathaniel Klein's going to come on here, formerly of Liverpool, of course. Anyway, it's not about what Liverpool player I'd take at Man United. It's just about who's the best one I can take. Because is there a Man United player that gets in a Liverpool team? At the moment, absolutely not. The only player for us that's doing okay at the moment, really, is Mazraoui, and you've got Trent, so he's not getting in. Anan has been reasonable, but you've got Alisson. Garnacho's been reasonable, but you've got Diaz and Salah, so, you know, not one Man United player's getting in a Liverpool team. And that to me, is a statement that needs to be said because it's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. When you can't get one Man United player in your biggest rival's team, well, also, it's a statement, isn't it? Oh, why are we in 8th? Why did we finish 8th? Why are we down in the mid-table again? Because we can't get one player in our biggest rival's team. But apparently, it's just all the manager's fault again. But it's not. Players have got to look at themselves. Mainu's not had a good start to the season, Callum. So, you know, on form, at their very best, some United players, I would argue, could get in a Liverpool team. But right here, right now, no. I watch Man United every game. No one's good enough to get in that Liverpool team at the moment. Theo is boring, says it is the manager. But it's not though, is it, mate? The manager doesn't control what effort a player puts in when they go on the pitch. The manager doesn't control. I saw a minute against Porto on Thursday night, which has never got anything to do with the manager. It was a minute of 4 different errors from Man United players. Casemiro did one. I can't remember who else. I think Bruno did one. 4 different phases of play in 60 seconds broken down by simple passes not played. That's not the manager. You can't control a player misplacing a 5-yard pass. Once they're on the pitch, that's down to the individual. Carragher was saying that's why he scored so many own goals. You have to go for that ball as a defender, says Bad Lefty. 100%. He's absolutely spot. I cannot say it again, but I will say it again. Why Guehi doesn't kick that ball is just shocking. You're paid to defend. If you kick that from there and it goes in the goal, it's bad luck. Because I'd say there's only about a 30% chance from there that it goes in the goal. Henderson's in the goal. You could kick it wide. You could put it over the bar. You could put it the near post. You've got to kick it. You've got to kick it. I was stunned he didn't kick it. Palmer's beaten Odegaard by 64% to 36%. Here's a good question. Would you take Pogba back at United, says Mohammed? Well, I'll run the poll. I know this is, a lot of United fans aren't necessarily in the chat, but we'll run it as that question, but pretend it's your club for a moment. What's your thoughts on Birmingham, and do you think we could go unbeaten, says Liam G? Mate, I think you're going to cruise that league. You got Charlton away today. Played Peterborough last week, who were 2-0 down and won 3-2. I mean, Will's loving it. Birmingham City fans are loving it. But just enjoy the season because you're going to get promoted easy. The question is, can they do that Ipswich bounce? Whoever approved the vertical night badge wants sacking. It looks awful. Up the Foxes, says Lee. I think they're just trying to do something new, aren't they? Mark, it was more like pressure from the fans that saved Ten Hag after the cup final. Ineos wanted him out. I've never heard such shit in all my life, Fred. If you genuinely think Sir Jim Radcliffe is a billionaire because he listens to what other people say, you've never done your homework. He runs a petrochemicals business, mate. He's got Greenpeace and everybody on his back all the time. He ain't going to fucking listen to fans protesting on Twitter about keeping a manager he doesn't want. I really think you need to do your homework on Sir Jim Radcliffe before you think that that they're listening to the fans, mate. Lovely cross in there. Good header away. Another corner for Liverpool. Palace just seem to have... The wind seems to have gone out their sails a little bit here. I'm surprised he's not started Mateta. 15 goals in 11 games. Physical striker. And Nketiah's not. I'm surprised, but... Palace haven't had the best start to the season, so maybe it's a kick up the arse from the manager. And this is what I always love about football and analysis of football. At the end of last season, there's a lot of people saying Glasner's amazing. Oh, get Glasner to here, get him to there. And then one day, you're... top of the pile. The next day, you shit on the shoe. But Palace need to respond here because they've gone flat. Carl says, he's lost his 2 best players. He was amazing. I watched him every game. Mate, coaching apparently coaching, it's not about the players. It's about the manager. Evie says, as a Spurs fan, I've actually got a soft spot for Crystal Palace and I just can't hate them. Which is surprising, actually, because as a Spurs fan, that's a London club. I wouldn't have thought you'd have a soft spot for another London club, but I suppose... what have Palace and Spurs got in common? They don't win trophies. I don't think Palace have ever won a trophy in my life. I can't... There's a question. When was the last time Crystal Palace won a trophy? Played United in the 90 FA Cup. Lovely play by Liverpool this. Corner. I can't think of Palace winning a trophy. Yeah, I can't think of that. On Pogba back to Manchester United, 42% say yes, 58% say no. My answer is Paul Pogba is a player that on paper has got every attribute you want, but is inconsistent. So if he was inconsistent in his 20s, why would you bring him back at 31? Well, 32 by the time his ban's gone. So absolutely not. Time for Saudi or the MLS, I think, for Pogba. City Extra says, Mark, do you get paid by United to say good things about it? The dude from Football Terrace, the Arsenal lover, said so. Just asking. I don't know who it is. I mean, I know Terry from Football Terrace, but that's about it. And he's... I very much doubt Terry would say that. So I think he might be trying to cause a bit of trouble. But as I've said before, the show is the proof because it's never happened. I mean, look, people like to use this community, the United Stand, me, to try and, you know, we're the best. We are the best. And when you're the best, people try and derail you. But if you're going to do it, at least try and do it with something that's true. You can't start accusing people of taking payments from... I mean, look, I don't care. But one day, Man United might care. And they've got plenty of money to go to court. And then you'll be fucked because there's no evidence. So you're going to get your ass sued, aren't you? But absolutely not. I'd happily sit... I mean, look, if Terry'd said it, I'd sit opposite him and say, can you prove this, Terry? No, you can't. Then let's look at the comments because you've made yourself look a right mug. Because it's not true. Did you just wake up, Mark, says Cruiser? No, I've had a bit of... I felt like shit yesterday. I thought I had COVID yesterday. I woke up yesterday, did the morning show. Headache, throat croaky, but no sore throat. And actually... rare. I don't know about you. You know when you feel ill in the day, I'm like, I'm not going to feel better until at least I've had a sleep. And then yesterday afternoon, I just started to feel a lot better. But I have got a croaky voice at the moment, but I haven't got a sore throat, which is why I thought it was COVID, because when I had COVID a few years ago, you know when you have an illness and you go, I've never had that before? And I just felt like that yesterday. Here we go. Liverpool again. Into the box. Jota, don't stand off him. Curtis Jones. No, they've got the numbers back now. I'm really surprised with Palace because I rate Chalobah, I rate Guehi, and that Lacroix. I mean, I don't know enough about him, but he was really good on FIFA. What's your favourite dunking biscuit? Says Hulls. I'm going to put my feet up. Actually, that's quite good. I like that. It's a new pose. I actually really do like this. Why have I never done it before? Let's kick back. DL's is correct. It's definitely Hobnobs. Keep the questions coming in. I'm loving the question. I actually liked that Man City Extra question. I don't mind people asking me a question because then I can answer it. It's better than, you know, people thinking it's fucking true on Twitter when it's not. It's always the players letting down the manager. 9 of the players who started are Ten Hag players. Genuine question, no hate. Yeah, this is a thick point, Anil. And you're not the first person to say it. Just because Ten Hag bought a player doesn't mean they can't let him down. I've never really understood that point. So the players last Sunday let the fans down and didn't turn up. And then some of the fans are going, but Ten Hag bought them. That doesn't change my point. Just because he bought them doesn't mean that they can't play shit and let him down and let us down. I don't get that correlation. I think what you're doing is you're having a conversation about sacking the manager when I'm saying the players didn't turn up. Just because a manager buys them doesn't mean they're going to turn up. They might just not be good enough. Would you? Would you keep Ten Hag if he took his pants off? Says Ali. Well, you're the one saying, you're the one typing about Ten Hag taking his pants off, which means you've actually thought about it. We're only thinking about it because you spoke about it. So you're the pervert. Which would you prefer, Mark? City relegation or City ban from the Premier League? I don't want them banned from the Premier League for ages. Trent's just had a good shot here. I mean, it's a standard save for Henderson, but it's a good shot by Trent. I don't want them to be banned from the Premier League, no. But I would like to see... Well, look, let's be fair. If they get done with next to nothing, then the severity of the crime needs to fit the punishment, doesn't it? But I think if they've done most of what they're accused of doing, I'd drop them in the National League. Then they've got 4 years where they're not going to be in the Prem. I think that's the way to do it. Kieran says, what do you think the realistic outcome is for Man City? I've got absolutely no idea, mate. It's just pure... Oh, I see what you mean about the Nike thing on the Liverpool kit. Do you think turning the Nike swoosh thing upside down, vertical, do you think that's a bad thing, or do you think it's just we're not used to it? All our lives, we've seen it the other way, and then it's gone up. I don't think it's terrible. I just think it's just that we're not used to it. Hobnob would be my favourite dunking biscuit. Yes. Will you ever cover a women's Man United match, says Shane? No, because I don't watch it. And you know what? Sue me. I don't know. I think people try and trap you and guilt trip you if you don't cover the women's matches, but I don't watch the women's matches. So it's got nothing to do. My daughter plays football for an academy, and I don't get to watch her every game, but I love watching it because I think women's football is getting better and better and better. I just don't have the time to watch it. I don't watch the under-21s. I don't watch the under-18s. I don't watch the Bundesliga. I don't watch as much of the Serie A as I used to. If I was sat there on a Sunday afternoon with nothing to do, I would watch women's football. But it's not because I don't rate it. It's because I don't have time to do it. Mark's breakout word for 2024 is correlation. I disagree, Parker. I don't think I'm even aware I use the word correlation. I think my word for 2024 is systematic. I think systematic is... Well, you can offer me another word, but I think I use overarching a lot as well. I use that a lot. Overarching. The overarching issue. Systematic I've used a lot this year. Concrete is the word of 2024. I mean, you know that Brian Gunn account on X where it's like they clip loads of people up saying at the end of the day, at the end of the day, at the end of the day. They definitely need to do the word concrete. So many transfer journalists this summer suddenly started using the word concrete. If I was a top brand, I would think about that. Do you still believe Liverpool are going to win the Champions League? Hey, my Premier League predictions don't look so stupid now, do they? People laugh at you when you make them, but I don't think I might be wrong on that. Sideways swooshes for growth of the women's game, says 100T. F. Oh, is it? Why? Well, it's not working then, is it? Because I had no idea that's what they were doing it for. And I like football. Corner to Palace. They've done sod all since they went 1-0 down. I don't like their kit either. It's like something my mum would wear in the 80s. On a dress. She wasn't walking around in football kits. It's like 80s dress fashion. Good play by Gakpo. I tell you what, I like Gakpo as well. I think Gakpo's a good player. I know he's not necessary. I'd love to know what Liverpool fans think of Gakpo. Let me know in the chat, because I like Gakpo, but he doesn't seem like... I mean, obviously, definitively, he's a bench player. Lovely link up down the right-hand side here. It's that man, Gravenberch. Oh, I tell you what, if Liverpool score a goal there, it's a good goal, because the link-up play down the right-hand side was really good. Gravenberch put the cross in, and then Jota mishit it. But it was really good play down the right-hand side. And, yeah, it's gone. Drip Football says Gakpo's inconsistent, Mark. Danny says I like him, but Diaz is better. Not good as a forward, but good as a winger. And Rashford's better than Gakpo, says just Kevin. I'm not allowed to talk about Rashford. I've been threatened. Where's that gone? There it is. I love my room now. I've made so many changes to it. I think it's... I never used to have a desk that big. I could put my feet up. I can stand up if I want to. Hi Mark, big credit to you for ignoring other YouTube people who have a go at you when you made them. Who are they? Through your hard work and your channel. You're a good guy, says Scrap Lewis. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. I think, look, give the audience what they want. I think at the end of the day, I learnt years ago, when I was having all that beef with AFTV and DT and stuff like that, we did have a beef and we didn't like each other, but we did content because ultimately we were content creators, and although we didn't like each other and the fallout was genuine, we always understood, well, me and Robbie always understood that ultimately the fallout was because of content. So you do content, that's what you do. And I think there's been many evolutions in this industry, whatever you want to call it, but people are terrified of doing content against each other, so they don't do it. Would you rather timeout bar a Ricky... what? Timeout bar, Rocky or Aero? If it's a mint Aero, I'm in. 100T. That reminds me, I don't know what I've got for dinner. Predicted score for this game, Mark, says Namey. Well, I actually fancied Palace to get something, but... Daniel says Crystal Palace relegation. Nah. Here's a good question from Connor. We're getting some... I'm going to tell you what, I'm really liking the questions. It's a good game of football, but throw your questions in. We're having that sort of thing, and that's what we do on That's Football. More than happy to answer them. What do you think about what's going on? No, we're not talking about political stuff. Connor says, and thank you very much for your super chat. He says, are you not doing the football fill-in anymore? Miss you on that. Love from America. It's becoming harder and harder to do it, mate. And it's such a shame because they're such a great group of people. I love Fozzie and Watto. And obviously behind the camera. Well, he's in front of the camera now. Tom and Jamie and Luke. They're a really, really great bunch of people. And I love doing it. But it's a time thing, and it's one of the big reasons I stopped doing TalkSport as well. It's just you've got to balance your time, and it takes like to get to do that show takes half a day out of my week, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm better off doing the stuff I'm doing, like doing the United Stand show on a morning and stuff. So. Yeah. Retro says, I've heard you're leaving the United stand. Is that true? No. Thoughts on Wharton? What club should he go to? Well, I think Wharton this season reminds me a little bit of Mainu in the sense that brilliant last season and went to the Euros and just looks a little bit overawed. Like and I've watched football for so long. I've seen it with Rooney, and I've seen it with Michael Owen. This overplaying of players can be problematic. I think rest is so important, and I guarantee you, if you gave Wharton a month off and Mainu a month off, they'd be better players when they came back. But we're so bad, and we're still so bad in this country at protecting young players because we just want to see them play. Pick them for England, pick them for the break, pick them for this, pick them for that. And they actually need a few weeks off. I mean, I was really happy when Kobe Mainoo got called up for England, but I said at the time I wish he hadn't been called up because a month in Dubai or the United States, he'd be cooking now. Michael says, how long before That's Football overtakes United Stand in subscribers? Well, hopefully United Stand's going to hit 2 million in the next 6 months. Don't know about That's Football doing that. What do you think about Bruno being sent off 2 games in a row, says Vine 4K? Honestly, I think it's a bit unlucky because it's not like Roy Keane and he's gone and snapped 2 players and he's got an anger issue. The first red card got rescinded, and the sending off against Porto was just typical European referees. I don't think the first one was a yellow card, and then the second one arguably is, but you've got to go for it. It's just a bit harsh. So I think it's just circumstantial. Good header on the front post there from Van Dijk, goes over the bar. I want to know what I've got for dinner. What have I got for dinner? Get some chippy chips, says Wicked. What was your favourite show as a kid, says Hulls. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. If you could commentate on football, what would your second choice of commentary be? I wouldn't want Drury. I wouldn't want Matterface. Because they're the lead. I'd want to be the lead commentator. I want an ex-player with me. I think me and Ben Foster would be good because we get on and he understands my banter. I think that would be good. I mean, I'd happily do it with Carragher or Gary Neville, but obviously they'd have to get over their issues, wouldn't they? But I'd like to do it. I would like to do it, but watch this space. Samikas, oh, I tell you what, good block there because he'd caught that on his left foot from the edge of the box. I reckon that was going to cause Henderson problems. That's not the angle. Go back to the original angle. Yeah, Henderson's worried about that, but good block. What breed of puppy did your family get, says Evan. It's a Jack Russell, but it's not a long-haired one. There's Trent. They're on the attack again with Salah. Salah tackles Trent. And now Eze. I think McAllister might get booked there. He did pull his shirt. He should have booked him there because he did pull his shirt, but he's not going to go back for it. Would you say Cole Palmer is the best English player in the world right now? If not, then who would you put up there? Says MTM. I think based on form, he's probably the best English player at the moment. But in next month, it could be Saka. So yeah, I would agree with you. On form at the moment, he's the best English player in the world at the moment. If and when do you think Slot will hit a rough patch? Says Hairline Harry. If he's going to hit one, it's going to be after the international break when they play Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm massively intrigued for those games, to be honest, because I think that's when you're going to really learn about what it's all about. But there's not really any reason to think it will happen because the squad is so strong. Tokyo Racing says, can you commentate this game for 1 minute? Mate, if you want commentary, turn on TNT. How did McAllister not get a yellow there? I think he should have got a yellow, but inconsistency, isn't it? Are you doing a City watch-along today? We're doing a 3 o'clock watch-along where we'll be just keeping up to date with all the scores, really. There's some interesting games at 3 o'clock. I mean, I'm wondering if we're going to get a shock. Probably not. I fancy all of the top 4 to win. Obviously, Chelsea play at home to Forest tomorrow. I think they'll win that. Liverpool playing here today, right now. And Arsenal and Man City both at home. Man City play Fulham and Arsenal play Southampton. So I think we can see all of the top 4 winning this weekend. But you never know. You never know. I think in the other 3 o'clocks, Brentford Wolves and West Ham Ipswich are quite interesting. And Leicester Bournemouth. Those teams down the bottom that Will keeps telling me are going to stay up are not going to stay up if they don't win. GN says, how long do you think it will be before United be a big team again? Look, things can change quickly, but you've got to get the right guy in. And if they're going to sack Ten Hag, I don't really know who that right guy is. Some people think it's Tuchel. He wasn't the right guy at Chelsea. He wasn't the right guy at Bayern. He wasn't the right guy at PSG. So he could be the right guy for United, but I just think whoever they go for, they can't go for a quick fix. I think they've got to go interim. They've got to stick with Ten Hag until the summer, or they've got to go Rude till the summer and then really assess it. But I wouldn't be rushing into anything. And if they go Southgate, I'm up. The United stand up for grabs. I'm basically just going to say 2 million football channel is up for grabs. Start bidding, Spurs, everybody, you know. Mark, I'm a winger for my man versus fat team. We lost 7-2 last night and I was dreadful. Do you have any tips on dribbling with the ball, says Shay? What's man versus fat? Great save by Alisson. Oh, who's missed that? Sarr, I think. He's on Sarr, and he might just be offside. To be fair, that's not an easy shot. That is not an easy shot. He's actually hit it well. I think he might have been marginally offside, but he's hit it well. Half a chance there. We're approaching half time, so get some either ors ready. You know what? Can I just say that I'm an absolute prat and didn't even realise. I don't know why I didn't know this. It's half time. I didn't realise that that was the Sarr that played for Watford, who I actually thought was very good at Watford. What happened to him? Well, he plays for Palace. But no, generally, what happened to him? Because at Watford, I thought he was fantastic. I just didn't figure it out. What? Yeah. Half time here, and it's 1-0 to Liverpool. Probably not much of a surprise in relation to that. Let's have a quick look at the stats here. Take and pause. 72% possession for Liverpool. That's massive away from home. Manchester United had about that. We had 67% at half time. 8 shots to 1. 7 corners to 2. 340 passes to 130. 86% possession for 70. I tell you what, when you look at it like that, Crystal Palace are very lucky to only be 1-0 down. That is very similar to what Man United did to them. But obviously the difference is Liverpool have put the ball in the back of the net. But what's going on with this Palace side? What is going on with this Palace side? Because they are getting absolutely dominated this season by so many teams. It's weird. It's Tadar Itsar. Yes, that's the guy. That is the guy. That's what I didn't realise. Liverpool dominating the pitch, says Jay. And would you ever come to New Zealand? Love the videos from Sax. I'd like to go to New Zealand. Yeah, I would like to go there. Simon Hooper is grinding my gears, says Divine. And look, the funny thing is about the domination from Liverpool is that the goal actually comes from a mistake where Guehi decides not to kick the ball. So, yeah, absolutely incredible. Steve Wynyard has just offered up a really good either-or to get us going in the half-time. He says, would you go Alisson or Raya? Well, I'll tell you what, Steve, let's chuck it to the chat and they can get voting. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, I can tell you're only 20 subscribers away from 1.26 million, which is incredible. So get involved with That's Football. Daily content on here. You're all very, very welcome. Where would you place the PGMOL in top cult list? That doesn't make any sense, Super Donuts. And William says, if you could watch a game between any two sides from different eras, who would you choose and why? Out of those choices, who would win? That's a brilliant question, William. I mean, I would like to see the 99 United side play somebody because that's the best side I think that's ever existed in Premier League history. So I would like to see the 99 Man United side play the City treble side. And I think the United team would win. They wouldn't win if it was the fitness levels of 99, but if everybody had the same fitness levels, I'd like to see that game, yeah. TT was the guy at CFC. Owners are reactionary, says FPV. McAllister did get booked, says Try. Okay, I missed that, so apologies. Let's just have a look who has been booked in that first half. Crystal Palace haven't had a booking. They had a man subbed off, Nathaniel Clyme coming on. And then Liverpool have had 2 bookings, one for Gakpo and one for Alexi McAllister. So there we go. That's how it's looking at half-time. But it's 1-0 to Liverpool, who have been very, very dominant. Mark, Mainu or Garnacho, who has more potential, says Co-op Rivals. I don't want to turn it into a United show, mate. It's That's Football, and we're watching Liverpool play Palace, but I think Garnacho's got the higher ceiling. Yes, I've always said that. And Arsenal undefeated versus treble Man City. Yeah, I'm not getting into this, but that Arsenal undefeated side did get defeated. They just didn't get defeated in the league. They didn't win any of the 3 trophies they were in, and they drew 12 games in the league. It was great to be invincible, and I'm not sure anybody will do it again. But having lived it, I don't think that Arsenal side's your best Arsenal side. And there's so many Arsenal fans that won't accept it because they love the invincible side. You didn't win any of the trophies you were in, and you drew 12 games. That Arsenal side, around February, got obsessed with being invincible. And it's amazing what they achieved. But it wasn't vintage football. It was just an amazing achievement. I thought the 98 double side was fantastic. But the Arsenal Invincible side is amazing for what it achieved. But I'm telling you, it wasn't vintage football. It was just organised. And they got obsessed with the streak. And they drew a lot of games. Mark, would you swap Højlund for Havertz? Says Tommy. No. I'm not saying Havertz isn't better, but you're asking me whether I'd swap a player I like at Man United for an Arsenal player, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't swap Rashford for Diaz because I've got loyalty to Rashford. I wouldn't swap Bruno for, well, I might actually. Odegaard, I might because you know why I'd swap Bruno for Odegaard, and I do like Bruno because I've got this thing in my head where I just like to see Man United play with a number 10 that looks after the ball and is magnetic instead of a number 10 that is always looking for the moments. And that's nothing against Bruno but I've seen it for years. I know what Bruno does. When he's good, it's great. When he's not, it's not. But I'd love to see Man United play with a number 10 who just wants to get the ball, keep the ball, and keep probing. I think it would just be really interesting to see. Oh no, I've just had a message that Seb's got a temperature. He must have caught that from me. Not saying you're wrong, but the United treble side drew more games than the Invincibles, so it's a bit of a cop-out. Am I the only one thinking that's knobhead of the year comment? You've answered your own question in this. I don't need to reply. You've answered your own question. I'm not saying you're wrong, but the United treble side drew more games than the Invincible side. You've literally answered the question. Treble is 3 trophies. Invincible is 1. You've answered your own question. Mark, Alisson is a legend for the Premier League. Fantastic, says DR. Well, Alisson's got 78% of the vote and Raya's got 22%. And I agree that Alisson is better than Raya. I think the 3 best goalkeepers, give me your top 3s. My 3 best goalkeepers in the Premier League at this moment in time is Raya, Alisson and Martinez. Not in that order, but they are the best 3 goalkeepers in the Premier League at the moment. Martinez is incredible. I think Raya's done a fantastic job for Arsenal. And obviously, I think Alisson's probably the best goalkeeper in the league. What was Seb's reaction when he told him about Maguire scored, says Steve? He was ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Yeah, he was really happy. Because obviously he was in bed when it happened. So he was very happy about that. He doesn't even expect Maguire to start these days. So to tell him that he'd scored the goal was nice. Because for whatever reason, he is his favourite player. Least favourite pundit, Mark, says Alex. Well, fortunately, I don't have to listen to it, but I will tell you this. On the rare occasion I put Match of the Day on, because I tend to just watch the highlights very quickly at 5, like a lot of people do. When I put the telly on and listen to Match of the Day, and you know when you're not watching the main game, some of the commentary is, oh, God. I wouldn't wipe my arse on it. It's toilet paper. It's worse than toilet paper. It's absolutely shit. The tone of their voice is just wrong when they're talking about it as well. They're just, I don't know. I find a lot of it shite, to be honest with you. Apparently Gary Neville's on American TV at the moment. So does he fly out to America to do it and then fly back to do... What is he doing? Just flying? Is he doing the red eye then, where you can fly out and come back in the same day? That's. There you go. That's what it's all about. He likes American things now. Apparently Gary Neville walks around in a Dallas Cowboys top and he drinks Dr. Pepper. He just loves American things now. Not saying I've done that one. Are Liverpool good or just easy fixtures so far, says Cozy Cow. Well, Liverpool have had a good start to the season, fixtures-wise, yes. And obviously, they played Manchester United at Old Trafford, which, as we know, would not be a hard fixture, and it wasn't a hard fixture. But I think after the international break, we'll really learn about what Liverpool are all about, because they're going to get to play Chelsea and then Arsenal. And I tell you what, I can't wait for that. Plural says, I'm not going to take this Dr. Pepper slander. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with Dr. Pepper. Remember that Alan Partridge show where he described Dr. Pepper as fizzy Benylin, which is like a medicine that we have here. I don't think it tastes like fizzy Benylin. I actually quite like Dr. Pepper. I've always quite liked it. Yes, done that one. Anglo-Saxon says, I've been reminiscing lately, playing footy with my muckers. Some of the happiest days of my life. Thoughts? Yeah, I don't think people do it as much now these days, do they? I mean, when I was a kid, we used to be down the park playing football at lunchtime, at school, up on the fields playing football. We never stopped playing. It was great. I'd love just a week of doing it now. Took it for granted. Great times. Fraser says, not much has been mentioned about how well defensively Liverpool have been in all competitions this season. And Harvey says, technically, if you win all your easy fixtures in a season, you'll probably win the league. True. And also, they lost to Forest, didn't they? So I think that getting that result out of the way has really helped them. Oro says, what would your combined team be from 98, 99 and 07-08 squads? I don't want to do stuff about United, mate. I don't. It's not the United stand. And also, it's just so niche and takes so long to do. All I'd say is from the 08 squad, Ronaldo would get in the 99 team. Rooney would probably get in the 99 team. And that's probably about it. Maybe Vidic, play with Stam, but that's it. Van Dijk has been so good and so consistent, says Mihir. And would you consider yourself fit, says Keane. I'm definitely fitter now than I was a year ago. I mean, you can see it in the face. My daughter saw a picture of me on TikTok the other day and she says, you look like you've been stung by a bee. And I've never considered myself to be fat. But I had to do something. So I've definitely changed my diet and it's certainly helped me. But I don't know whether I'm fit because I don't do enough fitness stuff. What would you be? I've done that one. Dr. Pepper tastes too much like a sweet, says Nice. And do you think United will have to wait longer than Liverpool to win another Premier League, says Joe? Liverpool waited 30 years. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I find some of these questions just so ridiculously subjective because I just don't know. I said this on the United stand last night. If we sack Ten Hag, somebody from Ineos or our director of football will say, our 3-year plan is this. And so many United fans will go, yeah, this is great, this is great. But since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, we've had a 3-year plan about 6 times, and 5 of them have failed. So there's just no point in saying in 3 years we're going to win the league, in 3 years we're going to win the league. When Van Gaal came in 3 years we were going to win the league, we didn't. When Mourinho came in 3 years we're going to win the league, and we didn't. When Ollie came in 3 years we're going to win the league, and we didn't. When Ten Hag came in 3 years we're going to win the league, and, well, this is his 3rd year and we're not winning the league. So I just think first things first for Manchester United is they need a bit of stability. They need a bit of a vision. They need to be a team that actually causes teams to have a bit of concern. And that's the first step. And one cannot be so arrogant to think you're going to win the bloody league when there's a juggernaut in it called Man City. On any other normal Premier League, Liverpool would have won 2 or 3 instead of 1, and Arsenal would have 1 as well. But it's so hard to win the title at the moment. I don't know why I don't know why Liverpool, Arsenal fans, Man United fans, Chelsea fans say the aim is to win the league in the next couple of years, because it's not that easy. It's not that easy to say we're going to win the league because Man City are just so good. Do you think I will be 2 or more goals today, says Tony Miller? Do you think there will be 2 or more goals today? I think in this game I think there'll be 2 or more goals, yeah. Thoughts on the Menendez brothers if you know them, says Turtle. No. My sister says I should let my nephew win. That's when I kick the ball right in his stupid little face. He's 9 up the red, says Odie. And Jurgen Klopp says start, bench, sell, vanilla Coke, cherry Coke, a line of Coke. Okay, we won't be answering that. Suffice to say, I do really like cherry Coke. What would I don't, but I don't drink any of that stuff anymore. I've had my I've nearly said it. I've had my Coke phase. I've had my fizzy drink phase, and I just don't drink it anymore. I find it hard to drink it actually, but I did used to like cherry Coke a lot. What would you be? What we've done that one as well. Roast dinner or takeaway, says Jake. You can't beat a good roast dinner. I think any food that's good. Second half started here. Going to get the timer. I think takeaways are great and going out for food is great, but you can't beat home cooked food if it's good. Like a Goldbridge lasagna is goated. Alexi McAllister has come off at half time. Don't know whether that's injury related or whether Slot just said you're only going to play 45 minutes. Let us know if you know. If you know, you know. I've got to get this timer right. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Bang. Bang. We've done it. He had a yellow card as well. Yeah, I'm just wondering if he took him off because of the yellow card. Aaron Warburton says, what's your opinion on TNS making it a con league? Mate, I don't know what you're talking about. I might be thick, but I always say I don't know what that means. I'm a Liverpool fan, but I've always thought Bruno Fernandes is world class, says Air14. Thank you very much. And Jake's coming to the UK in 2 months. Can anyone suggest some good lower league teams to watch? I want to see some proper old school grounds. Well, there you go. Help out Jake in the chat. I'm trying to think what good non-league grounds there are. Who's in the non-league at the moment? Who do you think will win the Europa League, says Matty? I'd say Spurs are favourites at the moment. I'd like to think United would win it, but at the moment, I'd say Spurs are the best team in it. Are Walsall in the non-league now, Connor? Walsall's right on the M6. It's an interesting ground, Walsall. If you drive through Birmingham and you come out the other side... I'm not saying you won't come out the other side if you drive through Birmingham. That makes it sound like if you drive through Birmingham and you come out the other side, because it's 50-50, you might not. As you come out the other side of Birmingham from the M6, you can see the Villa ground on your left. A few miles down the road, you're right on the right-hand side, you can literally... It's so close to the M6, the Walsall ground. Scrap says, what's your favourite curry? I like a butter chicken or a masala. They're pretty much the same thing, aren't they? Constantine says, United consistently rewards low performers, only side in the league to do so. Nice ball into Salah here, into the box. Probably going to win a corner. Goal kick. He's not happy about that. Matt says, what's your favourite holiday destination? It's boring. Well, it's not a boring place to go, but I've been there loads, so I'd probably say Mallorca for me. I have been to Skegness, Tom, yeah. So let's just have a look at the substitution for Liverpool at half-time then. Szoboszlai has come on for McAllister, which means, I imagine, Curtis Jones will drop in next to Gravenberch and Szoboszlai will play where Jones was in the first half. Can Palace get back into it? Any other watch along today, says Alex. Yeah, we're doing the 3 o'clock games, mate. But Liverpool will want to get the second goal here because they've been so dominant in relation to possession and chance creation that you won't be happy with 1-0 because it's a bit... Well, look at Leicester Spurs at the start of the season. Similar thing happened and Leicester ended up with a point. So I'd fancy Liverpool to get this job done, but you just never know. They've done very little going forward, though. I presume Aaron Ramsey can't play against Arsenal later. Because he's on loan, isn't he? Or did they buy him? Did Ramsdale went on loan, didn't he? They didn't buy him, so he won't be able to play. Are you doing Brighton Tottenham tomorrow? No, Alex. I mean, there's absolutely no way I'm going to do Villa against Man United at 2 o'clock and be like, now I'm going to do Brighton against Spurs. So, no. Oh, no, they bought him. They did buy him. I didn't know they bought him. How much did you get for him then? So he will be playing today, Ramsdale. Miz says, other than United, what team do you like? No, I don't work like that, mate. I like football. I don't have teams that I like. There might be a team I like watching. There's been, I used to like watching Leeds under Bielsa, and I don't like Leeds, but they were an interesting game to watch, the way that they played football. Are you a secret Arsenal fan, says Din? I don't know where this comes from. Jacob Smith says, hi Mark, I love the channel. Could you do Rashford Pulisic up the Foxes? Yeah. Slot's going mad. There you go. Rashford or Pulisic. Still all Liverpool this half. And you'd be happy as well, wouldn't you? I mean, the rotational options. McAllister goes off at half-time. Diaz and Robertson don't start. Szoboszlai didn't start. 15 million plus add-ons for Ramsdale. You paid 25 though, didn't you? That's sometimes I think that's a good deal, but I think the market's changed, hasn't it? Matt says, how would you sum up Diego Forlán's stint at United? I think he did a lot better when he left United, but he started off badly and then actually did okay. But he was a lot better when he left. He was just never going to be a starter, that was the thing. Bit like Chicharito. Crap cross there. Matthew's still waiting on a Cardiff show. Any news? Any show at the moment. We haven't got anything lined up. We do need to. I'm starving, mate. I'm absolutely starving. So if this stays the same, Liverpool will be top over the international break. They can't be caught. They are currently on 18 points as it stands, and Man City and Arsenal are on 14 as it stands. So obviously I'd expect both of them to win. So 18, 17, 17. Liverpool would be top, which they would. I think you'd take that, wouldn't you? I think, well, you would take that, and especially after the Forest game, you'd have taken it. When do Liverpool play Man City? I'll tell you what, I'm just going to say it. I mean, we don't get to talk about Palace a lot, but I'm not getting this Nketiah signing. I'm not getting it. Well, no, that's probably unfair. I do get it, but I don't know why you're starting him over Mateta. He just doesn't. I don't think he doesn't look. For me, he's just not physically big enough to be up front on his own. Good cross by Trent. Henderson clears with his feet. Yeah, he don't look it to me. He looks too lightweight. Have you seen Looking for Eric? Cracking movie, says Anglo-Saxon. I don't think I ever watched. I don't think I have actually. I don't think I've ever watched a film with Cantona in it. When do they play? When did Liverpool play City then? Did someone put it in the chat? Can't see it. December the 1st. Thank you. Tom says Palace have gone downhill since last season. You know the thing with Palace, and I said it at the time, they played really well at the end of last season, but what you got to remember is at the end of the season, a lot of teams are on the beach, and Palace were just massively motivated. People were looking for moves, the manager was looking to make an impact, and they blew everybody away. And I said, you can't really judge them till the start of the season when everyone gives a shit. And they've been really bad. If they hadn't had that glow up at the end of last season, you'd be saying Palace are rubbish. They're really not very good. I actually thought when we played them was our best game of the season. We absolutely dominated them for an hour. I mean, they were good in the last half an hour, so maybe Liverpool might want to keep an eye on that, but they might not need to. Big save by Henderson from Salah. But, yeah, they've been very, very poor. Here's Nketiah again. Does quite well, actually. Did do well there. Matthew Barker says, Dr. Pepper tastes like Disaronno. Hope you go Cardiff. Land says, anyone who plays against United looks great. Well, that's how bad Palace are then, because they didn't look great. They looked shit for an hour. So it's not a good thing for Palace, is it, when you make Man United look good for an hour? But it's very similar to the Man United game in how dominant Liverpool have been. I would say to Liverpool, you need to get the second goal, though, because a home team very rarely plays bad for 90 minutes. Film 4 is showing Home Alone today. Too early, Caden. I love the film, but it's too early. Although I've seen Channel 4 put Home Alone 2 on in June. I can't be watching Christmas films before my charity stream, and the charity stream is always the international break Saturday in November. Once that's gone, I think it's time to get into Christmas. Pulisic is beating Rashford 58% to 42% in your poll. A lot of Liverpool fans saying you need the second goal. Palace on a rare attack here. Gets the ball out wide. Wharton. The thing about Palace is that the weird selection of it. Can I just say this from a tactical point of view? Because we've all played football managers. Some of us have actually coached real players, but it doesn't really matter. You're still looking at your strengths of your team. When I'm looking at a game like this, I've got Nketiah up front, who's really small and lightweight, which means I've got to play my way through Liverpool. At least if you've got Mateta, you can whip a cross in. I mean, like, there was an opportunity there where Wharton's looking to sort of whip it in towards the penalty spot, and he can't do it because it's Nketiah against two players bigger than him. I'm amazed that he has gone with... Well, here we go. Must be thinking the same thing. Mateta's coming on. I'm surprised he didn't start. Maybe he had a bit of a knock. Anglo-Saxon says, looking for Eric, you'll love it. I've definitely heard of it, but I don't think I've watched it. And actually, it's Nketiah is going to stay on. He's taking off Mitchell and Wharton. Well, they've got to get a bit of physicality up front. I'd love to see some former officials be show tackles from live games in real time without knowing the on-field decision to see honest opinions, says Hairline Harry. Good point. Vine says, I've never rated Nketiah. Pulisic has beaten Rashford, so we'll end that one. Well, at least they've got somebody, at least they've got some physical presence now to get in up against Van Dijk. But it's Trent going forward. And that's a foul. Thank you. Lovely cup of tea. Lovely cup of tea. Can't beat a good cup of tea. That's amazing. What an amazing community we've got. I'm just having a look there. You can add up the 2 biggest Liverpool YouTube channels watching watch-alongs, and we're nearly 3 times it. What a community. Well done, everybody. Well done. I'll drink to that. It's not all about size, though. It's what you do with it. That's what I say. Are you good at Football Manager, Mark? Says Stephen. Well, let me put it this way. I did a Football Manager save with Solihull Moors, who were not even favourites to go up. I broke the goal scoring record for National League, got promoted with 100 points, and then the game crashed. And it actually, before it crashed, it literally said, "You're the best player we've ever had. You've broken the game." And then it just wouldn't work after that. Surely Jota's offside there. It was a nice free kick, but I think he was offside anyway. I'll tell you what, I'm starting to get the feeling, Liverpool fans, that this might just turn into one of those games for you if you're not careful. I have predicted that Palace will get something from this, even though I think I was ridiculously naive to do that. The longer this goes 1-0, the more... Alan Pardew, he was a chancer, wasn't he? I just think with Pardew, he's dodgy. Not like that. God no. I mean, like, he just always. I always felt like he was going to sell me a second-hand car. You know, just felt a little bit. And also his last job in management was so long ago. Why did he disappear from football? I love those sort of things. Players or managers that you thought were going to be in the game for ages but aren't. Where are they now? He's only 63. Mate, he's 63 and his last big job was 2008. So, oh, I tell you what, he could have shut us all up. He literally... could have put a cushion down and sat us down. And Nketiah with a chance. We like the Pardew dance, don't we? Score predictions for City versus Arsenal. 4-0 to both of them. Aidan says, it's your personality that makes me watch your channel as a Liverpool fan. And well, this is what I mean. It's incredible because there are... You know, I like the Red Men, and they've been at it for years, but this is not my club. This is their club, so it's just, I don't know. It's probably the way we do it, isn't it? It's interactive and a little bit more laid back, and that, to me, I don't think Nketiah is stretching, isn't he? How much did Palace pay for Nketiah, by the way? Can I get the fee? How much did they pay? You paid too much. I don't know how much they paid. 30 million? It's Arsenal. I tell you what, I think them gloves are going to start clapping behind me in a minute. Imagine if they did. And that one. Imagine if those gloves start clapping as well. We need to get some sort of magic going on. £30 million. Arsenal, well done. Absolutely brilliant. So you got £65 million for Nketiah and Smith Rowe. I tell you what, that's a star deal on FIFA. That is. £30 million for what? I'd have said 20 with add-ons top. Mate, he ain't 30 million up front. I'm sorry. No way. No way. That was a good hit by Szoboszlai straight at Henderson. I tell you what, there'll be charities crying out there going, you could have given us 10 of that and you still would have overpaid. But this, on a serious note, that's a lot of money for Crystal Palace on a player that I don't necessarily think they need. God, what you'd have got in Europe as well. You'd have got Jonathan David for another. You'd have got Jonathan David for that. Why won't anyone buy Jonathan David? He's only got 1 year left on his contract. Why would you not buy Jonathan David? I know, again, small striker anyway. Liam says, I support Liverpool. I love your opinions. Thank you, pal. Do you think Arsenal should have replaced Nketiah, says Vincent? At the moment, I don't think they need to. I think Arsenal's plan with the striker is that they know they want one, but they're not going to do anyone. Like, they're waiting for the right one, which is brave, but probably correct. Sam Allardyce, England manager, minds a pint of wine, says Odie. Long ball in. Still 25 minutes to go. Shot over the bar. Speculative shot over the bar from Palace as well. Nude says Jonathan David is terrible. Well, I think he's better than Nketiah. Clash says you should go for steak and chips for dinner. Oh, I tell you what, a lovely steak that's not tough. You know, like you know a steak that's like salmon, nice and what's the word? You know, a good steak. Chips, homemade, perfect. Gravy, poached egg, beans, mushrooms, bit of garlic bread. Back of the net. I won't be having that. I've just fantasized about something I'm not going to have. Trent shoots over the bar. That's a lot of calories, mate. It's Saturday night. Anyway, do I look like I can't have a few calories? I wish to win the lotto, buy a club and buy Jonathan David, says Arthur. Linda's having all of that. Linda, living the dream. If Southgate goes to Manchester United, I genuinely think the United stand will hit 10 million subscribers. I don't think we'll ever get 3. But if Southgate goes to Man United, we'll hit 10 because I will become world famous for being the guy that literally loses his shit every second of every day. I'll do 24-hour live streams just moaning. Posters, the lot. Lasagna with a glass of red. Ooh, I've got half a bottle of red left as well. Diaz is coming on for Liverpool. Yeah, going back to Pardew, by the way, he is 63 and basically hasn't managed a Premier League club since he was 55. Which is incredible. Oh, and that was the chance for Eze. Straight at Alisson. Palace are knocking on the door. They're doing exactly what they did to United. Total shit for an hour. Double substitution, and then suddenly they become a threat. And funnily enough, Eze had a big chance against us around the same time. He should score that. Anywhere but there. It's bounced up in front of him on that left foot, and he's volleyed it straight, volleyed it straight at Alisson. Big chance. If Palace get back into this, Liverpool will be absolutely fuming. Good cross into the box! And again, free header. Straight at Alisson. Palace are shooting here, but they're missing. Like Stevie Wonder playing Call of Duty. Order McDonald's, Mark. Double Big Mac. Oh, I can't stand McDonald's anymore. You know what? I'll shout out. I went to the Punch Bowl, which is about a few miles away from where I live, a pub. And the burger there is unbelievable. If you're ever in the Lapworth area of, I think it's Warwickshire, go to the Punch Bowl. Fantastic burger. But I like a burger. But I think they're so hard to do. Which is why I think Five Guys charge so much. Because their burgers are way better than what you get at McDonald's and stuff like that. Your underrated easy meals. My pick is egg and chips. Ooh, good one, Steve. I don't think you can go wrong with beans on toast with an egg, fried egg. Oh, it wasn't a header, that chance. It was I scored a goal like this. Chalobah. I actually scored that. I think he copied that from me. I was 15 in a cup tie. Cheese toasties are elite. You know those machines you can get where you put the bread in and it's basically a toaster, yeah? It's all right. I thought I was really enthusiastic about telling you. You know those toasty machines, right? Where you put the bread in and then you put your filling in and you press it down. So basically a toasty. Try this. I got given this when I lived in Ireland. I don't know whether it's an Irish thing, right? Basically, in the toaster you put cheese and onion. Really nice. And another one. This might blow your mind a little bit. Toasty, ham, apple. Really nice. Don't put a whole apple in it. Like, you've got to chop the apple up. But ham, apple in a toasty. Whew. I liked it. Palace have not got a penalty. Apparently cheese and onion in a toasty is not Irish and not actually niche. Ange is going mad. Ham and cheese is nice, but ham and apple, yeah. I don't know whether there was cheese in it as well. I would find out for you, but it was my ex-girlfriend, and she's not spoken to me for 20 years, so she's definitely not going to speak to me, even if I did have a number. Imagine that. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream. I'm doing really well. You might have read the Daily Mail article. Yeah, absolutely loaded. I'm not interested in what you're doing. You're still dumped, but yeah, was it ham and apple or was it ham, cheese and apple? Yeah, that's all I wanted. Bye. She's never going to tell me, but it definitely had apple in it. It definitely had ham. But to me, it just sounds like it wouldn't work. So maybe it had cheese in it as well. Don't know. Come clean and get out of the wardrobe as a Liverpool fan, says Seamus. I was a bloody Arsenal fan last week. And I'm also obsessed with Man City. Anyway, if we're talking about Liverpool and we're talking about who I should support from Liverpool, you might want to read this book. Because there's an Everton connection in here. I'm surprised. I mean, there's a few thousand of these have been sold, and I'm surprised I've not gone viral on Twitter for who I support. Well, I do support Manchester United, but for all the Forest fan shit, if you read the book, there is my first kit was not a Man United kit or a Forest kit or a Liverpool kit or anything like that. LZ, you support Forest, mate. Mate, you're an idiot. because the hilarious thing about the Forest story is it comes from a jealous YouTuber. I even know where the story started because it started 10 years ago, and it comes from a jealous YouTuber. So your warped brain and hate is justified by something that was started by a YouTuber who doesn't like me. So, hi Mark. Done that one. There was something else. I missed it. Yeah, a few of you definitely read the book. 15 minutes to go. Yellow card. This is turning into one of those games where it's squeaky bum time for Liverpool fans. Definitely should have had this game won. Nketiah's got himself booked, has he? Yeah. I just think, I wish Nketiah all the best, but 30 million looks like a great deal for Arsenal. I mean, I thought 55 million for Chelsea for Mount with a year left on his contract was brilliant, but in fact, throw me some of those up. I'll give you my thoughts. We always talk about flops, but let's flip it the other way. What deals do you think are great deals for clubs? Like Leicester getting £80 million for Harry Maguire. People always slag United off for it, but what a deal for Leicester. I think £30 million for Nketiah from Arsenal is fantastic. £55 million from Chelsea for Mount with 1 year left on his contract is just incredible. I mean, I'm actually depressing myself here, but £55 million for a player with 1 year left on his contract who's been injured for 18 months. It gets better by the day. Look, Mount, I like Mount. I think he's a good player, but £55 million, he's not been fit since and wasn't fit for the year he had left on his contract. If you're Chelsea, you must be sat there going, wow. Wow. Alisson's injured. He gets injured a lot, doesn't he? He does get injured a lot, doesn't he? For a goalkeeper. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. One of my mates is watching this. He must be bloody bored at work. Oh, that's the only WhatsApp you've sent me, Belly, about... Because you're thinking about your belly. So you've been watching for ages, but you messaged me about the cheese toasties because that's all you think about, food. It's a private joke, but he says, don't ever mention cheese toasty and onions with apple again. You see, not even bloody listening. It's not cheese and onion with apple. You see, I'll get cancelled if I say what I really think of him. I said it's ham and apple. Maybe cheese. I want a toasty now. I'm going to start, in fact, I'm going to start a toasty business. You know, Sidemen have got Sidemen Eats. I'm going to do Goldbridge Toasties. Goldies. No. Anyway, I'm going to start a Toasties thing because I think Toasties are ready to come back. So who's with me? Someone get Gary. Gary will do it. Don't tell Gary. He'll do it on his own. What's Goldbridge doing? All right, I'm doing it. No, I would like to do that on a serious note. Bring the Toasty back to the mainstream. If it ever was in the mainstream. Yeah, Liverpool need to be a little bit careful here. I'm definitely having a toasty between the gap between the end of this and the 3 o'clocks. Okay. What film is that from? What film is that from when I go, okay? It's definitely from a film, I'm sure. Alisson's got a back injury. Yeah, anyway, come on. So, Arsenal getting £30 million for Nketiah. Give him a clap. Ooh, good shot. Well, I tell you what, if you're Palace now, fair play to Hughes. He's gone for a shot from distance. You got to test the keeper. 15 minutes to go. Alisson's gone off. It's not Kelleher in goal, is it? What happened to Kelleher? Where's Kelleher gone? I thought he's a good goalie, he is, Kelleher as well, but it's not him. I think is it Adrian on? Adrian. I think it's Adrian who's come on. Let me have a check. I should know this stuff. No, Jaros. See, I'm definitely... So, I thought you bought the guy Marmalade. Where's Kelleher? Where's Marmalade? Kelleher's ill. Okay. Apparently, Kelleher was on the bench. He's been watching the stream. He tried the apple and ham toasty, and now he's ill. Marmalade's on loan for next season. They've got to test this goalkeeper. Ooh. Ezzy. I'm worried about Liverpool. Well, I'm not worried. I said a draw. Liverpool buying the Valencia keeper starting to make sense. The Liverpool medical team knows something we don't know, says Danny on the gas. Danny is on the gas. He's literally got his foot on the gas and he's speeding towards a good point, because I literally said that and Danny's picked up on it as well. Alisson gets injured a lot. Fraser says, call me crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Alisson fancies Saudi though. I mean, I'm being a little bit stereotypical there, but a lot of Brazilian players do go and play in Saudi, so maybe he fancies a bit of that. Call me crazy, Mark, but I feel like the youth of today don't have toasties anymore. Too lazy, Fraser. You got to put, my daughter won't make a smoothie because it takes too long, but she'll buy one from Sainsbury's, and I'm like, all you got to do is get the smoothie maker out, get the ingredients, wazz it up, and you've got a homemade smoothie, and it's better for you. There's no additives in this. There's no E numbers in this. She's gone. She ain't listening. So they're never going to make a toasty. What? I've got to get the toasty machine out. Then what do I do? Oh, I've got to put bread up, and I've got to cut up some cheese. No. I've Uber Eats to McDonald's. 34 million from Everton for Iwobi in 2019 was good, says Carl. Saliba, Odegaard, Trossard, all under 30 million, says Tanish. Yeah, look, you've turned it into Billy Big Bollocks, haven't you? I said selling players, not who you bought. Juve getting 80 million for Pogba when they got him for free, says Joe. 89 million, wasn't it? God. You know what? I know somebody who works... Well, my book was done by Penguin. I know somebody who works at Penguin, and they said, we've got an author who wanted to do a book about Man United's worst transfers, but we rejected it because we realised that you couldn't fit it all in one book and you'd have to write about 10, and we just didn't think it would work. And it's true. Order McDonald's, Mark. Double Big Mac, done that one from the hills. I wonder if a manager has been after a player based on stats and rating alone and met him face to face and just thought, no, not him, don't like his face, says Gaz. Well, apparently that's what happened with Ivan Toney. I mean, we might have some Arsenal fans in the chat who can talk to us about it, but apparently Arsenal really liked the idea of Ivan Toney as a striker. And I think the story goes that, was it Edu? Maybe Arteta just were like, we just don't think he's a good fit. So I don't know whether they'd had chats with him and just thought, personality-wise, you're not right. But apparently Arsenal were looking at Toney and then just decided, here's Mateta. It's just got to wait. Pass, you twat. Ezzy, straight at the keeper. The pass from Mateta wasn't good enough there. As a manager, I'm saying to Mateta, you are paid a lot of money. You are a Premier League striker. We're in a 3v1. You've played the pass to Ezzy too late. It's too slow. And you know he's fucking left-footed. Why have you played it behind him on his right? So people will say, oh, Ezzy should score that. But from a setup point of view, where's the IQ? And Zach says it was a fine pass. So it was behind him, it was slow, and it was onto his weaker foot. I'm telling you, it could have been better, Zach. That's like Zach. Zach, you need to get your standards up. Because if you came round my house with your new wife or boyfriend and I didn't think they were up to scratch for whatever reason, you're settling for you know, you've got to set your standards higher. Oddie says it's not looking good, Brev. Cheese and apple. It wasn't cheese and apple, it was ham and apple. I'm not saying it's any better, but I liked it. Diaz on the break. This is going to go one of two ways. It's going to go one of three ways. It will stay 1-0, or Liverpool will score and make it 2, or Palace will score and make it 1-1. Apparently, I've just been informed that Ezzy is right-footed. Zach, I apologise. She's a stunner. Yeah. Yeah. Well, as you can tell, in my defence, I'm not a Crystal Palace fan. Crystal Palace fan. I'm not a Crystal Palace fan. So I always thought Ezzy was left-footed. That's strange. That is really strange. I always thought Ezzy was left-footed. Well, I'll believe you. Alisi. Okay, that's why. That's why. I always... I don't know why I've thought that. Zach, you've just won the quiz. I always thought Alisi was right-footed and Ezzy was left-footed. And I don't know why I thought that, because everybody plays with inverted wingers. So, yeah. Don't know why I thought that. I always thought Palace played with natural Ezzy off the left and Alisi off the right, and they were naturally right and left footers. So, well, in that case, it was a good pass. Hi, Mark. Lots of love. Commentary keeps crying. Pen says DP, and Liverpool will get all 3 points here. Says Rub. Aaron says your first kit was Everton. Have a clap. And have you heard that Pogba's ban has been reduced to 18 months? What are your thoughts? I mean, I think it'd be nice to see Paul Pogba back playing, but I don't think we're going to see Paul Pogba playing at the highest level again. Zach says Oscar to China for Chelsea. I mean, look, Chelsea pretty much since Abramovich came into the club, maybe there's a connection there, but some of the sales that Chelsea have done over the years, which is why I'm bigging up Arsenal for the Nketiah one, because it's normally Chelsea. I mean, that David Luiz one to PSG, was that 60 million? As you say, Oscar to China for 60 million. They've you know, Mount to Man United. Chelsea always get good money for their deals. Shaggy says, try a jam and what's it toasty. Oh, I hate jam. I hate pearl jam. I hate real jam. And I do like the jam with Paul Weller. But yeah, I don't like pearl jam. I don't like jam you put on your toast. I can't think of a third jam. But yeah. What's it's and jam? Oh, makes me want to throw up. Toasty in the frying pan, good old-fashioned way, says Lloyd. I'll tell you one thing I've always wanted to try is a battered Mars bar, which apparently they do. I thought it was a myth, but they do sell them in chip shops in Scotland. Liverpool on the attack. I think Liverpool will get this done now. Whether they score from this, which they don't, I just don't think Palace are going to get the chance to get back level. And again, for Liverpool, they'll be very happy with this. 3 points is all that matters. I'd say Slot will say we should have finished them off. 1-0 really doesn't reflect the domination we've had in the first hour. But at the end of the day, you'd now just be going 3 points on the road. Tough place to go, Palace. Palmer or Hazard, says Dalen. I'll do that as an either or for you. Don't forget, we're doing the 3 o'clocks. I do like doing the 3 o'clocks because there's so much going on. I will be keeping an eye on Birmingham's trip to Charlton as well, because that's me against Will. He's obviously Birmingham. I picked Charlton in my EFL team. Good spin by Jota. Who's the centre-back again there? Who got spun like a bottle top there? Shocking defending. It's Guehi again. Watch this. Mate, he has had a shit game, hasn't he? What's right? Do you think he just wanted... Do you think he's pissed off because he didn't go to Newcastle? If I was giving player ratings today, I'd give Guehi a 4. Shocking game of football for him. It's ham, cheese and apple, and it's totally rank, says Crying Scotsman. I don't think we had cheese. I think it was ham and apple. And I really liked it. The apple sort of went a bit caramelised. Yes. You know you want it, Crying Scotsman. Oh, that sounds really bad. What? Obviously, I had no intention of making that sound bad. I was talking about a ham and toasty, but I've just realised that those words, that does not sound good. Liverpool aren't killing opponents. It's a concern, though, says Tatton. No, 3 points, mate. We should have beat Palace and we drew. You've gone there and got the goal. Six minutes added on. She's all messed up with a broken heart. Can Palace do anything here? He needs to flick that, Mateta. I think that's going to be a foul. Canate gets pushed on the floor. This will be controversial. Well done, keeper. I tell you what, if they'd scored from that, Canate gets pushed on the floor in the build-up. Done well. Marmite and custard toasty are the best, says Alex. I do love custard. Couldn't drink a pint of it, but I do like custard. I've always liked it. It's a bit old school custard, isn't it? Why didn't Szoboszlai shoot there? 3 minutes to go. Stop putting jam on food, Bojim. Jam and bacon toasties. Stop putting jam on hot food. The only thing hot jam should go on is toast. Marmite and custard. Oh, God. Happy birthday to John O'Brien from Chloe Flannery. Happy birthday, John. Hope you have a great day. Big shout out to anyone whose birthday it is this weekend, actually. Lovely month. I love October. I was literally saying that to Mrs. Goldbridge the other day. I said, I love this time of year. End of September to middle of November. It's a lovely time of the year. September can still be a bit summery. End of September, October, early November, you get bonfire night, Halloween. I mean, I do like middle of November to Christmas, but Christmas just comes along and says, get out of the way, everyone. It's all about me, the big fucking show off. But I think like October to the middle of November, it's just a nice time of the year. Autumn, dark nights. I mean, Batman's not turning up, but you know what I mean. But I do like November and December, but it is all about Christmas. Billy Big Bollocks. Oh, look at me and my songs. And my trees and my lights. It's all about me. I'm like, fuck off. I just want to go down the pub and have a nice bitter. January, February. I just try and get into the NFL. I'm getting back into my fires as well. I'm not an arsonist. I mean, I just like, you know, I like a fire in the living room, in the fireplace. But it's too warm today. I had one yesterday. Come on, 1 minute to go. Palace just can't get the ball up the pitch here. Any team news, Mark? There is always team news, and the 3 o'clock team news is out. Arsenal have got Southampton, Raya, Partey, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiore, Havertz, Jorginho and Rice, Jesus, Saka, Sterling. Very attacking from Arsenal. I think Partey playing at right back is probably because of injury, but also it allows him to drop into the midfield. I think they're going for goals in that game, of course. Man City, be interesting to see what they've lined up against. I mean, they will beat Fulham, but Ederson, Lewis, Akanji, Diaz, Vardiel, Kovacic, Gundogan and Foden, Silva, Haaland and Grealish. So it's Foden does get to start this game. Savio and Doku don't. Kyle Walker doesn't either. So a bit of rotation from them as well. We've had this allotted time here. Maybe one last attack for Palace. You've got to go forward, mate. And that will be that. Big win for Liverpool. 1-0. The amazing thing about that game is that really, for all the possession of Liverpool, they didn't. They scored because of a mistake. So yeah. Sam says, what about Wolves to the Championship, Mark? It could happen, but I don't think it will. I think Wolves against Brentford at 3 o'clock. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Remember, I'm back live at 3 for the 3 o'clock kickoff, so tune in for that one. Going to go and get something to eat now, and I will see you very, very soon. But don't forget Manscaped. Let's get that back on the screen. They've sponsored this stream today. They're absolute legends, and you can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. The link's in the description, or scan the QR code with your camera. You can do that while you're waiting for me to go live at 3. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Facial grooming as well. Everything there. Big shout out to Manscaped. And absolute legends, the lot of you. To have 15,000 people watching on 12:30. We've had a really good chat. I'll see you back at 3. Legends. Speak to you in a bit.